You're such an asshole.
Banging out the work at assholeconsulting.com. You land rights. Hi, Cappy. I'm a 44. Well, he's not that young, I guess. I'm a 44-year-old unmarried male currently living in San Francisco, and no, I'm not going to get the fuck out of here, at least for the next few years. At least for a few years. Despite San Francisco being a socialist pit, I like it here enough. I'm inured to the madness. Plus, being surrounded by manginas makes my dating life with women easier. I'm looking for your advice on becoming financially independent as fast as possible. I just paid off a bunch of debt, so I don't have much cash saved up right now. I'm currently renting an apartment in San Francisco for $1,900 a month. That's not bad. That's pretty cheap. And my job pays $100,000. As I mentioned, I don't plan on moving. My employer is private, highly profitable, and I will stick around until we either get sold or go public, which could happen within 2 years. I'm not counting on any stock windfall to make me rich. My net worth is around $500,000, with $200,000 in retirement accounts and $325,000 in home equity. I own and rent a townhome in San Jose with a loan balance of $420 and a value of $725. So wait, you're renting and that's the one you own. Okay. The value is based on a recent neighbor's sale. I expect the value to jump over the next few years as Google plans to build a huge campus about 1.5 miles from there. I'm not making any cash flow profit from renting it, but the rent is paying off the mortgage, taxes, and insurance. Good. Well, that's good. That's a free house. By renting it, the townhouse, I've cut my housing expenses by $1,500 a month versus if I lived in it. I'm currently free from credit card debt. I'm saving an average $2,000 a month and want to invest in a way I can be financially independent within 5 to 7 years. I'm open to living elsewhere with a lower cost of living, just not now. My preferred idea is buying enough turnkey rental properties over time in markets such as Memphis, Alabama, Ohio, etc. Get enough cash flow to become financially independent. The benefit of this is they manage all the hassle of being a landlord, though the margins are lower than if I did it all by myself. Would you recommend this path or something else? Thanks. And I'm not going to mention your name. Say, okay, where do you want to live? He says open to Colorado, Arizona, Vegas, or Nevada rather, or less expensive parts of California. You've only measured single rental. You want the turnkey. You're just the capital provider. Married. Okay. Here's the problem with rental properties or property in general. You got to make sure it cash flows. And that's coming increasingly harder and harder as more and more money floods the market. More and more people forget what happened in the housing bubble days. And they're driving up the price of these houses. So as the price of the house goes up, your mortgage goes up. But rents don't necessarily go up. And I don't know if you read Bachelor Economics or not, but there's a huge section in there that you got to look out for property taxes. So I'm not too excited about you investing in Ohio because Ohio likes to tax the fuck out of its citizens. Not that it would have necessarily anything to do with property taxes, but it would do with income tax. I just don't like dealing with income taxes. And that's going to complicate your tax return. So I would double check Ohio. In other words, it's just safe it may not be the best real estate market, but I would really maybe provide an extra filter. You only invest in tax-free states. Nevada, Washington State, Tennessee, Memphis, Florida, and then if you're going to go in non-tax-free states, okay, but you better do your financial analysis really well there. So I'm not necessarily against you going and investing in these properties as long as you're getting some kind of cash flow. You're not on the hook for ever-increasing property taxes. It's not in leftist shitholes, or worse, it comes into some metro gentrified area. Like, oh my God, wouldn't it be this wonderful to have free bicycles? Let's just tax ourselves because they're stupid fucking liberal morons. In other words, you're going to have to do a lot of research and homework to make sure that this is, because and I like the idea of turnkey, because you're too busy dealing with this fucking bullshit with your real career in San Francisco. But then you got to also research the property manager. Are you sure this is a good property manager? You know, is this something? Because if they go down, now you got to go find a new property manager. And now you're not working no more. Now you got to fly out to fucking Memphis. Now you got to fly out to Ohio. And so I'm a little concerned there. So it's not a bad idea if you find the right one. You want to be financially independent within 5 to 7 years. You could sell your place in San Jose, take that money, really pay down your portfolio. But what do you have for investable assets? You have number $200K in a retirement account. That's enough, and $325K in a home equity. You have enough. You don't really need to invest anymore until you're ready to retire and call it quits in San Francisco. Your 210 is tied up in your retirement accounts. Your 325 is tied up in your equity, but you don't have. Do you have any cash? You're saving around $2,000 a month. Want to invest away. You're financially independent. All right. Your financial independence is going to come from your retirement account, which you you do have enough for a single man to retire frugally, and the $325,000 in home equity. You have enough there that you could sell your place in San Jose, assuming prices hold. Go buy some cheap place in Nevada or Arizona. Key thing being cheap, and you just live the rest of your days out there. I don't think you'll be able to do that. I think because you're still relatively young, you'll still have to work a little bit. So that'll help with the income. But right now, I think you have enough. You have enough. You can retire if you want to. The other, not problem, but the issue that you have is you don't have any cash. Now you're bringing in $2,000 a month. Well, that's not going to get you a house. It's going to take you at least a year to save up a down payment on a rental property. And that can certainly help you become financially independent within 5 to 7 years. But $2,000 a month, let me do some numbers here. $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year. Oh wait, did I do that right? Hang on, $2,000, yeah, it's $24,000 a year. Come on, Clary, get with it. All right, 5 to 7 years, $120,000. You'd have enough cash, like as long as you're still contributing to your retirement account, 401k, IRA, I don't know what. Maybe here, okay, you know what I would do, depending on your mortgage interest rate? If that's low enough, I just start throwing that extra money towards your mortgage. You might as well save the 4 to 5%, whatever your mortgage rate is, and that's risk-free. And then down the road, when you sell your house in San Jose, now you got this big lump of cash you can go and buy a retirement home with. Nothing fancy. But if you're still looking to do something with that $2,000 and you don't want to pay off that home equity, here's what I would do. I'm not that sold on the rental property clear across the other side of the country, especially if the numbers aren't that promising. I would start looking at land where you'd want to go and build your house inevitably. Now this assumes you would want to be a minimalist and you'd want to build just a small little house, but all of a sudden you're going to have like 24 grand in 1 year, 50 grand in the next. And then you can buy a plot of land, or you can buy actually a lot of land if you're willing to live out in the middle of nowhere. And then you could go ahead and build, as you save up more and more money, then you could go ahead and you might have enough cash to build a little house. A little, nothing fancy, but a nice little house that you could live in it for the rest of your life. And then that way you're not going into debt anymore. You buy the property first, then you wait till you have the cash in, then you buy the building. I think that's what I would do. And then you got an option. All of a sudden, let's say the housing market keeps on going. You got this plot of land, and some realtors in Phoenix say, hey, we want to buy this land from you for 3 times what you paid. Okay. That's what I would do. Plus, it would diversify you a little bit out of California. But you got to do some research and find out where you want to live for sure. Because right now, you're like, here, maybe there. And you got plenty of time. It's not like you're going to have a ton of money. Like, oh my God, I got $100,000. What am I going to do with it? I'd start doing some travel. I'd start figuring out where you want to live. Maybe get a realtor once you go, oh man, I really like Dallas, or I really like San Antonio, or I really like Houston. And then I would start eyeballing some real estate out there. But it's going to be a while before you build up enough gunpowder to go and buy a place. In the meantime, instead of letting your money sit there and earn it's what, 0.5% a year. If you don't have, if anything, you got nothing else to do with it, just start beating the shit out of your mortgage with it. Because again, that's going to save you risk-free at least 3.5%. Although I don't know what your interest rate is, but it's going to be more than what your what is I'm just wondering what a 6-month CD. 6-month CDs. It's not even 1% on a 6-month CD. Yeah, dude, you're gonna get what? 4 times the rate of return. That's what I would do. So and you can always take a home equity line out once you decide, oh, I want to buy this property. But yeah, that's what I would do. Is if you don't want to leave it in cash and don't want to go buy property with it, I would just start throwing it at your home equity or your residual mortgage. And then all of a sudden you find out there's a place you really like, okay, then start buying. That being said, I would build up a little bit of cash, like maybe 2 years worth, build up 50 grand here or there. But yeah, and here's the other thing, unless you know where you want to live in life, it's not like I can say, oh yeah, go do this. But that Alabama, Ohio, Memphis turnkey rental properties, boy, you got to look at their Schedule E's and make darn sure it pays. Make darn sure. I just think you could probably do. I think you have more money than you realize because you've been in San Francisco so long. Because you do have enough to retire, not luxuriously. Maybe get Poor Richard's retirement. I go through some numbers here that are a little bit more sobering. But yeah, in the meantime, while you're making 6 figures in San Francisco, just keep saving and banking that money. Just keep banking that money, because then it's going to become moot. Then you'll have property in Texas. You won't have it. 10 years go by. You actually make some stock. You never know where it's going to go. But while you're making that 6 figures, even in San Francisco, and since you can tolerate it, man, just keep taking those golden eggs laid by that goose, and just if you could come out of San Francisco debt free and with property somewhere else, and then what would your retirement account be? You're really in the clear. You're really in the clear. I just don't really like that idea of investing. I mean, and here's the other thing you could do with empty property. You could lease it out to a farmer for agricultural purposes. I'm debating in my mind, like, storage. Just throw up a Quonset hut and rent it out for storage. Some kind of cash flow, because you're not renting to people. And people, storage can't sue you. It's things and items. People, depending on the landlord-tenant rights law, oh, fuck. You don't want to be... People are assholes. Fuck people. All right. That's all we got. You guys got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. Check out the captain there. Listen to my podcast, the Clary Podcast, and of course we got the book. The one most pertinent to this would be Poor Richard's Retirement. So we'll see you kids later. Toodles.